guys. I am here with the beautiful and lovely Cirilla and BananaJam, here to answer and talk about some really hard questions. Hello, both of you, and thank you for having me here today.
Hi,
Thank you for
hi.
hosting us.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a lot to
How are
talk
you?
about. I'm doing well. I mean, listen, two beautiful women talking about the game that I love. I can't ask for anything more.
Stop it.
But we have some important things to talk about, so let's get right into
Yeah.
it. What do you guys want to talk about first?
Yeah, I think that we have a question that we have to address, like in the first place, the one that has been circling around for a while now, and it's the question about the clan quests. You know that we're not the ones who jumps straight into the fire with making decisions. We analyze everything, we collect all the feedback, we look at the analytics, and then it's kind of more of a complex decision making process. So I believe that with clan quests, we kind of underestimated some of the details. And with the help of your feedback and everything, we came up to a conclusion that we need to make some improvements. First of all 90 quests will be available to all the clans, no matter the level. And starting from level 1, I believe that the elite quests will be open as well.
That's with
So-
the release for 60, which is coming.
Yeah, with the upcoming
couple of
release. Yeah.
Beautiful.
We are also planning on increasing the rewards for the quests. I think I won't jump into details right now, but there will be some nice improvements as well. And in the clan shop, we will replace the affinity potions with some. I believe that we will have the revenge accessories over there. Yeah.
We'll have some kind of accessories there.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, no need for details, but as long as things are changing, I think that's what people are most focused on because they weren't really happy with the first test that came out. And I know, and a lot of people do know, despite we only hear the people who are crazy, rioting, pitchforking, but most people understand it was the first shot attempt. People didn't like it. Now it's going to be changed. So it is good to hear that something is being done about it.
Yeah, because I believe that our goal was not to make any conflicts, between the clans, inside the clans, and so on. We wanted to more collaboration between the clans inside, between the members of the clan, and something kind of went in a bit different direction. So yeah, we've analyzed it, we collected the feedback, and we have improved the whole system.
What about your clan, Murder?
Oh,
How are you guys dealing with the whole quest and
so-
how do you calibrate?
Our clan is a really terrible example. Okay.
why?
I don't do clan quests. I beg my clanmates to take it from me because I don't want to do them. I think it's a chore for me personally, and I don't need any of the rewards. So I'm a terrible example. But if I'm
Why?
answering you as a loyal and lovely Raid Shadow Legends player, what I'm going to say is it's a struggle.
should
People
be.
are taking quests and they're leaving the clan. I'm extremely frustrated. The whole system it's really tearing us apart from the inside. But like I said, if you're in a well-established clan, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, there's not going to be too much debate and argument about who gets what. Everything's going to be pre-planned. That is a lot to do for a mobile game, even though we can barely call Raid a mobile game anymore. It's on PC now. So many people are playing it. But for our clan specifically, everyone's set. There's no fighting. Some people want the clan quest. Some people don't want the clan quest. So I'm one of the ones that don't want it. I only take it if someone's like, I already have 3, and everyone else says I don't want it, so I'll just take it and I'm doing this anyways. But
Oh, I really love clan
So I
quests,
guess
to
it's
be
not
honest.
such a good news for you then that
It
we're
will
gonna
be
have
more.
90
It will be more.
quests
Yeah,
open
quests.
now.
listen, if it makes the players
Sorry,
happy,
Murder.
I don't care. If it makes the players happy,
Yeah, it will.
you guys can do whatever you want.
Are you sure?
It's also not selfish.
Yes, anything
I mean,
you
it
guys
will
want.
require some collaboration, it will still require some effort even with these improvements, but I believe it will be a nice change.
All right, guys, so now let's jump right into the question portion of this, starting off with the first question. What is the plan for new content to finish up the year of 2021?
Oh god, I forgot that it's like how many, like 6 months left? Oh no, less. It's like 4 months left.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough
Who's
time.
counting?
I'm counting. Okay, I'm counting.
Probably our game designers do.
Yeah, they do count as well.
Well, there are a lot
Yeah.
of things we want to concentrate on. We are concentrating on, and there are a lot of things we want to release by the end of the year. And some of those are like really close now. You guys already know about the third rotation of the Doom Tower, and it's going to be a big one. And this
And
is
a really
some
tough
new
one.
content that you guys are gonna like. It will bring new challenges, new tasks to take on. So there's going to be the CVC direction that will address also, and the clan quest that we just covered is just one little step toward this big goal. Another one is enhancing the PvE content that we already have in the game for clans. And we are going to, we plan on doing that and finishing that up by the end of the year as well. And we will be giving you more details gradually about what it is, what it's composed of.
Yeah, but it's going to be some major release, and hopefully we'll be able to. We're aiming to do it by the end of the year, so let's hope we will do it. Yeah.
Well, taking into account all the hints that we leaked previously, and all the content that people have been anticipating for quite a while now, I think it is no brainer to
it's
take
quite
a guess.
Obvious. Yeah, it's quite
what
obvious.
It will be
I
about.
mean, yeah.
So
we just don't name it. That's it.
Yeah. Something that you can't say out aloud.
No, we can't say this. No, it's forbidden.
So there's also a bunch of quality of life improvements, and those are already coming out in every new patch, and we will keep them coming in new releases, and it will be happening also this year and next year. We keep collecting your feedback, and now it's easier for us to implement it in the game, because we are growing our resources and concentrating on making the game experience better and lighter. Also, there's going to be
a really anticipated one.
Yeah, the duplicates
deep
issue.
system. Oh yeah.
Yes, I know many people are anxiously waiting for that.
Thing.
Yeah, I expected, and
more details in the upcoming weeks. So that's something that we are really set on doing also by the end of the year.
I'm
that was one of the main reasons why I didn't ask any questions about the duplicate system.
It's for this interview.
No. But seriously, I know it's a sensitive topic. The problem is you guys have to get it right. I don't need to tell you this. You guys already know it. So I don't want you guys rushing to get an answer out for me, or rushing to get this system out. You guys want it to be good as the company. We want it to be good as the players. So honestly, take your time, however long it takes, as long as it's good. We look forward to it.
Yes, that's why it took so much time, because we really weighed all the decisions we've made, like all the ideas we've had in mind, like everything has been thought, discussed like many, like multiple times, because we really want it to be good, like for every player who plays our game.
It's like we said, this solution is made up of like multiple options for utilizing those duplicate champions, and we have to carefully test how it all impacts the
The
overall game
experience,
experience
yeah.
in all areas, like in all locations,
Absolutely.
the game balance.
And for each like segment of players, like end game players, like for everyone. So
There's a lot of stuff to take in. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing that. Also, we are planning on releasing new faction.
But it's
In the
not. It's still not decided whether we are doing
Yeah,
this
we're
like by
not
the end of the
promising
year or
this
not.
to be done within this time frame,
Yeah.
like by the end of the year, but we are set on that. There will be champions rebalances. They are scheduled still for this year, and we know that a lot of players have been waiting for that to happen because there's still a lot of champions like Big Snail that
Let's not
need
talk
some
about
love.
that,
But
please.
yeah, we haven't forgotten about that. And one of the most touching subjects is the battle pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we are working on reworking that.
Okay.
yeah. But
So yeah, it is also in plans to do that, to reconsider the whole concept and bring some adjustments and maybe release it this year, but we're not sure yet because we are not going to do it just the way it was with the first season. We want to bring some additions, adjustments, and maybe it's not going to be called Battle Pass, but it will be some kind of variation.
Yeah, I think you guys did a good job with the first battle pass, minus the that special, not so often reward of getting banned. I think outside of that, everything was really nice.
Yeah, that was a funny not story. Were you one of the of those who were banned?
I wasn't so lucky, no.
Yeah, it was a stressful period. I can say that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but anyway, with every feature we are kind of introducing into the game, we need to be assured that the game is ready for these changes. So we are kind of getting ready for all those amazing things that we have planned for you this year, and of course next year as well. Because if you have noticed that, we kind of focused more on PvE content this year,
Yes,
but we really want to shift our focus to PvP content next year.
that's
I
good to
won't
hear.
disclose like any details, but that's the plan.
The
Okay.
important thing to remember is that before bringing in new challenges and a whole lot of new features, we have to we have to prepare players. So
Yeah.
we need to do it gradually by giving portions of new tasks, new champions, new artifacts and accessories, and we have a whole like wide picture of the game development in the future. And even if some solutions don't seem to be that clear at some point to players, they will start making sense later, like with the addition of some champions, their skill sets and new artifacts and how they work. It may not make that much sense at some point, but it will.
Yeah. It might be just like small pieces of a bigger picture. So you need some time to see the whole picture.
Okay, and I think
Yeah, it's
that
kind of a like segue to, I guess, the question of
yeah, so this definitely segues right into the next question, which is
Cleopatra.
going to be how will the company attempt to retain endgame players better? After we saw that recap report of the 1 year, we saw the A lot of the most frequent champions were very, very early game champions that a lot of people who were still around and watching couldn't really relate to. So I'm really curious as to the answer to that.
Uh, I mean, if we're talking about the end game players, even those cohort of players, they are really inconsistent. Is it
They're not homogenic, I think. Homogenic.
inconsistent? Dear Lord, I don't know how to say that.
They are really
In
versatile in what they want to
versatile,
do
yeah,
in the game and how they want to grow and
yeah.
in which areas to
They
develop.
enjoy different content, so we try to take into account uh, the how to say it, хотелки.
Uh, their
Um,
wishes.
yeah, their wishes. Okay, the wishes of end game players, but as well the newbies, like the mid game players, like of
Yeah,
everyone. When we're releasing something, we need to know that it will be kind of playable for, like, it will be enjoyable for everyone. We can that we've heard like each cohort of players.
It's very difficult to cater to all the categories of players that we have, and there's a lot. But we still like, and we hear everyone and all of the um, requests that we receive from players. We know that it's an acute pain for players to that have already maxed their great holes um, to figure out what to do further with
yeah,
the gold medals, with the medals that they keep receiving. So this is something that we know needs to be taken care of, but we have to prioritize because that segment of players is very significant, but it's still not that big. So so when we make a choice, we need to look at the bigger segment of players and at what they need in the
absolutely.
game,
And I think this is where
what do they
the
have.
hard part of the question really comes into play here. If you can get more players to stop quitting the game 60 days, 90 days in, then the amount of players who are end game is going to grow tremendously. So I think it's also
Sure.
important to weigh that as well instead of just focusing on the majority of players saying, okay, we see in analytics they are quitting here, or maybe we can extend it a little bit longer. But ideally, if you can get the same player to play the game forever, spending a little money here and there, or not spending at all, that's when you can really take a look around and say, if we want to make more end game content, we have to make the mid game content easier to transfer to the end game so we have a much bigger
Mhm.
population there and can focus on that area as well.
So that's why we keep adding different stuff to different areas of the game,
Yeah,
and they all of those things that we keep adding may not be that relevant for one category of players, but may be vital for progression for like newbies or something, and that causes some discord in the way that new features are perceived when they come out, um, like it happened with some of the recent events. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. I just know most of the
and of course,
frustration
yeah.
end game players have is by continuing to add more and more things that reach a more versatile group of players, you still have the end game players that I myself am definitely in this category, and we just have nothing new to do. There is one aspect of the game that we're going to talk about in a question a little bit down the line, but the more you keep adding to the mid game, someone like me, I can get through in a day, a week maybe. Doom Tower's a bit different because it's gated by time, but I do understand and respect the effort that's being made to incentivize people to make it to the in game. But a lot of players that have been there for as long as I have, I mean, December 2018 is a really long time to have been playing. You can only go through content so many times. And when it's mostly
Yeah,
focused on getting new players, it's really hard to say, hey, this game is great for end game. You just have to be willing to stick it out. That's a really hard sell for a lot of players.
and
Sure.
that's why we will shift to like focusing and developing the PvP content next year, because I mean it was requested like a lot. like really a lot, and by end game players as well. So I believe it will be a nice add-on
You guys are
to
going
enjoy.
to get a lot of things to work on.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
There's no need to worry that there won't be any decent content.
Yeah,
Music
and
to my
let's wait for
ears.
that for that amazing major release that we were talking about a bit earlier.
I'm ready. Okay, but now that that's out of the way, we're going
Are
to
we?
the hard
I'm not
question.
ready.
I don't think you guys are ready for this one. One of the most
It's your
talked
turn
about,
to
loudly
answer.
talked about issues in the game currently. And my third question to you is, what was the reasoning that led to changing the 271 plus login rewards from a sacred and 5-star chicken to champion fragments? You have the floor.
Oh, okay.
Cirilla
Thank
has
you for
left
this
the room.
interview. It was
It
really
was a
nice
pleasure to
talking
have
to
you.
you. So yeah, see you around. Okay, we're just messing
Yeah.
around.
It's really a difficult question, and of course, we thought a lot about consequences and
The reaction.
direction of players, and it was evident to us that it will be taken negatively.
Yeah.
And as players, we sure understand why that is. Um, it's just that we needed to make some changes to fit, to make sure that the daily login program fits the whole picture of how we see the game developing in the future and the status quo of the things, of the way that players receive their champions in the game. So there are a couple of factors that we took into consideration when making that decision. And the first one is that this removal, like this replacement, was one of the leverages for us to influence the experience, the players' experience in terms of receiving champions at a certain stage of their game progression. What I mean is that we need to make sure that players get a certain champion for completing different tasks in the game rather than receiving just, let's say, a sacred shard and getting a random champion out of it. So that was one. And the second one was we don't have any problem with just giving out those rewards. I mean, you can get a sacred shard in quests in the Doom Tower and the hard mode. Also, there is like chicken in advanced quests
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's just that we those are really valuable rewards, and we want to be given them for actually actions, in-game actions,
Yeah, so
not
like
for just
achievements.
logging
Yeah.
in. That was the way for abuse the system for bot accounts that would just get in and take that chicken and sacred shard, and then you know what they do with those bot accounts.
Yeah, I had a feeling you
So
were going to mention that.
yeah, this is definitely what we considered. Also, we took into account the way the daily login program looked before, all those other parts that preceded the 271 plus patch. And all those had really like useful champions that are great. Nobody can argue that, especially like Ash with skill.
Oh, he loves
Yeah.
skill.
Also High Hatton and champions like that. So those are great for like especially in the beginning of your game progression.
Yes.
Because
It
you
may not seem so for like top end game players, but it is important for like newer players.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
you don't have that many, like maybe not that many like nice champions in the beginning of your way. you know?
So yeah, that was like the motivational part. And also we thought about what champion we wanted to include in the program, in this part of the program. And Cleptarix was not chosen accidentally. At the time, she was a new champion, and not a lot of players had already received her. She also belongs to the faction that cannot brag with the number of champions available there. It's skinwalkers, and players are often in need of more champions to be able to actually fight in that faction crypt, in the faction wars. So we wanted to give them a champion that would help there. Actually, I don't have a single legendary from this faction, so I'll be happy to get her.
I have only a few epics.
I'm not just
That's
saying
it.
that because I'm a community manager.
I have only a few epics, and I don't have like I have none
Also,
of the champions of
like
that faction.
I said before, this is one of the examples of the bigger part of the bigger picture. She is going to reveal herself even more with the addition of new features. And let's just say that Dragstar on the bazaar was not exactly welcomed warmly at first.
But right now,
Yeah, but
Very good example. You guys did your homework. I'm proud of you guys. Very good. No one can argue with that. So I'll give you that one.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you will be able to see that
yeah, let's just wait a
Yep.
bit. So
that it wasn't
let's give it
incident
some
that
time.
Okay. Well, hey, hard question. You guys answered it well. That was good. Moving on to the next one. Will Raid ever consider adding instant battles to the game in any way, shape, or form?
And the answer is yes, but for that kind of content that doesn't have this like complete it as fast as you can in core mechanics of this content, like clan boss, for example. If you want to beat clan boss faster, you need to think, you need to choose the right champions, and so on and so on. So it's like yes, but with a small but.
Okay,
It
so
doesn't
it's
sound
yes,
nice.
it's yes, but not
to say it
everywhere.
like
it's
that. Yes.
for those
Well, yeah.
aspects that don't require any big effort to make your teams run faster. But
Yeah.
it's not going to work like, you know how you struggle for 40 minutes when beating the crab, but then
On manual.
on manual, and then you just receive the right to skip the
Yeah, just
battle.
auto click it and
So
that's
it's
it.
not going to work like that. But some areas will get that addition. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So now the next question we have is, with the ever increasing fast release of new champions, have you ever considered to increase the Minotaur to stage 20 so people can keep up with the masteries they need if they are continually getting new champions without having to spend gems to instantly get those masteries?
But do you think it has anything with like the speed of champions release? Because I mean, even if we are releasing those champions like really fast, like really there are a lot of champions that has been released recently, it doesn't mean that the players get all of those champions. I mean, like the speed of getting the champions didn't increase. I mean, it didn't change. But we're looking into this, and if anything will change, I think we will consider adding more stages.
So not for now.
Well,
Okay.
not for now.
Most of this question was kind of leading up to future plans, whatever there is to do with the duplicate system that's going to remove, hopefully, our duplicates, which means we're going to have more unique legendaries that we're going to want to build and less duplicate legendaries just sitting around. So that's going to 100% increase the amount of unique champions we have. and it's going to give a bigger need for masteries on them since we're not getting the same champion over and over again like many players are now. And it's going to put a lot more focus onto the Minotaur. So even though right now I get that response,
Agree.
but later down the line, I think it's definitely something to consider, especially when looking at the duplicate system.
Yeah, and the hard question is that you never know how exactly some huge change will influence all of the areas of the game. So we
Yeah.
promise that we will be especially vigilant when the duplicates issue solution comes out. We will be analyzing thoroughly all the aspects of the game, and yeah, if we see that players are in desperate need of more crawls, then we will consider adding more stages to the Minotaur
Yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. And that's a good segue
Um,
to, will there
the
ever
Yep, it's just a good example with the clan quests we released. We saw that it was done a bit incorrectly. We listened to the feedback from the community and we implemented the changes. So it proves that we are flexible in this area.
flexible is good? Yes. Will there ever be another permanent fusion like Rhazin Scarhide without there having to be some huge problem like Folly?
Uh-huh. Well,
Which problem do you mean?
And I mean,
Ah,
the Foley chamber. I said
the
it
follow
wrong.
fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will there ever be a
You keep
permanent
pressing and
legendary
like old
fusion?
wounds yesterday.
Yeah, listen, I'm here for old wounds. That's why you have an old person who's been in the game for a while, so I know all the history. And Rhazin Scarhide, player love this champion. It's always there, so they have something to work on from day one to whenever they stop playing. Hopefully, they never do, as far as you guys are concerned. But are we ever going to expect something else to come into play there?
I don't think it will be in the form of a fusion, but I believe that we'll have like more places in game where you'll be able to get some nice champions without opening shards.
Really like
So,
this mechanic, and
yeah.
we are going to keep using that. We will be playing with all with different options, but probably no permanent fusion
Yeah, well, like
in this
drugstore,
way exactly.
that we have mentioned a bit earlier. Like he's on Bazaar and he's cool and nice
And
and
there
everyone
will
loves
be
it.
more shops in the game or
Yeah.
shop-like things in the game that will give us an opportunity to give you guys more chances of crafting new heroes.
Very good. And speaking of new shops, will there be a solution to missing fragments for past fusions without having to buy them?
Um, to be honest, we were thinking about it when considering the dupe system. We were thinking like one of the possible like options, but it it wasn't like the best fit, maybe. But anyway, we're kind of working in that direction.
We're basically thinking what are the best places for us
Yeah.
to add those. So it's not a question of whether to do it or not. We are definitely doing that. It's just that for now, we are considering the best variants of where to put them in the game.
Okay, that works for me. As long as the answer is yes. Does the company plan to reduce the amount of time investment needed to get the daily activities completed? As it currently is, many people view it unrealistic to spend the amount of hours. I know I did a video on this. I believe it was like 4 hours or something a day, which is a lot of time. I mean,
Yeah.
just think about 4 hours a day. As fun as Raid is, don't get me wrong. So, what are kind of your guys' approaches to this?
Well, actually, yes. We know that it's a very topical problem right now,
Yeah.
and we will keep bringing more, how would you say, like activities to the game and additions and new items, maybe. that will help us to reduce the time spent in the game, because you are going to need even more time when the new PvP and PvE content comes out. So
And
we don't want you to get to abandon your personal lives, your pets, your wives, children,
and husbands and relatives.
We know that it's what hurts.
And
Probably the most right now.
We have some options. We are testing some options. But
one of them is I think we can say that it will become available soon. It's called double raid.
Double raid, yeah.
So basically, what you do is you go to dungeons and you spend the double amount of energy and get 2 sets of artifacts from there in one run.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, if that's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. And we'll be adding stuff like that gradually with new releases too.
Yeah, because you'll need some time for maybe like the clan wars. Wink.
Yeah. So I think it's really important to kind of jump ahead on what people are going to say based on what you just said there about the dungeon things. I can tell you right now that dungeons is the last concern of every single player. I mean, I farm dungeons all the time. I'm nowhere near my computer. I'm 200 feet to the left of me on the beach, looking at the ocean water, and my computer's playing the game and doing dungeons over and over again.
We are reporting you now.
Yeah, just give me a second. What's your game ID?
We see your point, and you are right about that. But like we said, it's just an example.
It's just one of the options, one of the solutions.
Like clan boss, I know people talk about all the time with how long it can take. Faction Wars, Doom Tower, everything that, yes, you want it to feel good as far as progression-wise goes. And I know a lot of other games have a system where if you complete something a certain amount of times, you can do it instantly, which goes back to the instant battle things. And I know there is going to be some form of that coming. So these are just all things to consider before people in the comments to start jumping out saying, what kind of example is that? We don't want dungeons. So I just wanted to clarify that before people start going nuts.
Yeah, that's just tiny option.
I would give you guys another example if I weren't afraid of being not too precise about that, because we don't know the details for now. All we know is that our game designers are set on bringing more stuff to the game that will reduce the time spent there. So
I mean, we all play raid, so we all know like how much time.
Personal lives.
Yeah, we all have or don't have a personal life.
Not me, but
I mean, so we're really thinking about this question, like we take it seriously. So
okay, yeah, that sounds good.
No jokes.
So moving on to the next one, would the company ever consider creating a void shard equivalent of a sacred shard?
Oh, so you kind of want to increase the possibility of getting a void legendary. Am I right?
Yeah, so if you look at Raid and when it came out, we had the original, until recently actually, of pulling a void shard one at a time, which was terrible, having 300 of those. Now we added the ability to summon them 10 at a time. The only thing we don't have now is, if you look at Ancient Shard to Void Shard, those two are kind of the same thing as far as rates. Then you move up to a Sacred Shard, but there's no like Sacred Shard for Void Legendaries, where there's a really unique reward that players can get through. Probably, I mean, hopefully not a spending only tournament, but I'm just curious if there's any plans to add something like that because of how rare Void Legendaries are for 99% of the players.
Well, first of all, not everyone have like 300 void shards. Not me, apparently.
True.
I have none right now, like 0. And I am sad about it.
I have 3 torments.
Really? What?
I fused one of them and then I summoned 2, and I only have 4 void legendaries, just so you know.
All right, so there
Let's
we
wait
have
for
it.
the dupe
Cirilla
system.
has 3 duplicates. We know the dupe system is going to be good because if it's not, she's going to be upset and they don't want that.
Even my
That
earbud
was
was
the
shocked.
universe that was kind of punishing you for having so many.
I'd like to say that we don't want right now. We don't want to add any more shard-related mechanics to the game because there are a lot more important things to concentrate on in terms of adding content.
Yeah, because
Um,
there are some huge features that we're working on, and we're working on them like simultaneously. And you probably understand that all those features they kind of need resources. So we are prioritizing those features right now, and didn't think about this kind of thing. Although we've discussed, there were some discussions like back in the
yeah,
day.
that's not a firm no.
Yeah,
It's just that it's not in immediate plans. Also, we've already covered the subject of adding new options to the game of getting champions besides summoning them from shards. So this one also partially replies to the question.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely a good example. All right, now taking a huge shift in the conversation. In regards to the classic arena, with the majority of players sitting in Gold 4, which definitely shouldn't be the case, and Gold 4 having the largest gap in gear investment into champions, are there any plans to fine tune the arena ranking system so most of the players that are currently playing aren't sitting in Gold 4 and you don't see very bad teams and very good teams once you get closer to the Platinum Arena?
well, we know that Arena needs some love and support from our side as well, but I don't think that adding more tiers will solve the problem
I
because,
agree.
yeah, the players will just shift to that tiers, and well, the issue will remain the same, so nothing will change. So we're thinking about like different options on how to improve the situation at the moment.
So it's not only about adding tiers.
Yeah.
It involves the matchmaking, the broadening of uh, the sizes of tiers, but not only of the platinum tier. Um, so, yeah, as we said, we will be focusing more on the PvP concept, on the PvP aspect of the game right after we are done with the whole duplicates and CVC related stuff.
Okay, that's good. So farm your metals now because hopefully it's not going to be this easy for too much longer.
Yeah, we just don't want it to turn into
Yeah, just farming
this,
medals and
yeah,
that's it.
this meaningless fight, this meaningless kicking of the week just to get medals.
Yeah.
We want it to be more
More challenging, like
richer,
more
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, which goes to the point of the
enjoyable.
way Arena used to be before when there wasn't this matchmaking issue in the arena. Arena was a lot more difficult, but the only real complaint about how hard it was pretty much the point of getting Arbiter. Arbiter's gated behind Gold 4. Now Gold 4 is very easy to get to, so no one's really complaining. So I think if you had returned
Not
it
for
back to
now.
the old difficult way and just remove the part that says hit Gold 4 Arena and try to work something else into that. I mean, I don't know coding well. Maybe it's such an old part of the game that it would be a pain for the developers to try and change something that early into the Arbiter mission, but if that aspect alone changed, Arena could go back to how hard it was, where all of the brackets were smaller. I mean, I don't personally push to Platinum Arena each week, but I can tell you that the size of Gold 4, if you haven't played, if you were on vacation for a week and you got back on Saturday, you would have to play for 20 hours to go from the beginning of Gold 4 all the way to Platinum and hope to hit that for reset because the number is so large, which was never the case months and months ago before the arena was changed with this whole new matchmaking system. So I think that's a big concern for I want to say more endgame type players, but for all players, there isn't, no one really cares about the arena right now because it's all really easy. People want to test teams,
And
but
arena needs some
you know,
love, I mean.
yeah,
Like meritocracy should reign on the classic arena, and this is not what we want. Just um, pure elastic like gold 4 tier that just keeps stretching out in all directions, and
yeah,
it is no challenge to get there. And like, for example, I returned from the vacation, like you said,
And you were still in
a
gold
week
4?
ago. I was kicked to gold
Oh.
2, and it took me, I think, like 2 hours to get back to gold 4 and like into the middle of gold 4. And I did all those battles on auto, and it shouldn't be that way.
true. I mean,
So
with
we
3 tournaments, gold 2, maybe we'll talk about that after this call. You shouldn't be dropping that low, but that's besides the point. So
I don't use them. I
that's definitely a good response to the arena question. But moving on to the next one, are there any plans to increase the source of getting legendary books to balance out the increased number of books that I'm sure everyone's been noticing? The newly released legendaries as well as the new rate legendaries are entering the pool. Once again, going back to the point of this question kind of prefaces the dupe system. Eventually, we're going to have more unique legendaries, not going to have to worry about dupes. Legendaries are taking a lot of legendary books, and the source to get the legendary books remains the same. So what can we expect on that front?
Do you mean like adding a library or something?
I mean, if you want to add a dungeon that we can farm with a 1% chance of a legendary book, fine, just make it really hard.
Well, I don't think we're on that way to add a place to farm books. I mean, that's not the option we are looking into. Uh, but as for changing the income of the books, then yes, and yeah, we already see that
things are changing.
yeah, the
Like,
income
yeah.
of the books kind of increased, so players get more books from like different locations in the game.
There are more events, tournaments that
Yeah,
we add them to as rewards. So there are more ways to get them, and we will be adding those. We will keep adding those. So there will be more options in the game to get books, but we're not looking at giving an option to farm them for now.
yeah.
Okay. So with the event we had a little while ago with the reduced silver costs that everyone absolutely loved, it's gone now. What's the plan for that? Is it ever going to return? I know a lot of players would love if it came back permanently, but I'm sure that's not going to happen. But silver is a huge struggle for many, many players, so I do want to kind of touch on this and see what you guys have to say.
Well, we are analyzing
The most recent
yeah, the
activity
most
that we
recent
did with
activity that
this
you've
reduction,
mentioned.
yes.
Yeah, and looking onto how it kind of influenced the experience of the players, how it influenced the game itself. So we need to kind of consider everything, like all the details, before jumping into making any decisions.
It's just that on the surface, it may seem like not such a big thing, adding
Yeah.
it on the permanent basis. But in real life and like exact how it actually happens in practice, some really insignificant at first sight things may influence largely the whole game balance and
And not in a
state
not
of
in a
things
good way.
in the
That's like
so
the
yeah,
point.
whenever we try out something new, we have to collect all those analytical data and make sure that we are not ruining anything and causing like any bad consequences in the long run.
Yeah. Then
So
why not?
if we see like if we see that it had a good influence on
Cirilla, leave, please. Oh no. We will return that silver, okay?
almost died. Yeah. So of course, we are no enemies to our own game. If we see a positive impact on the game, we will bring it back on the permanent basis.
Good. And now, next question. Will we ever see a friends list added to the game?
Do you want to have a friend list? Who
I
would you
do.
have on a friend list? Okay, I
Listen,
really
What
want
about
to
an
know.
enemies
Both of you would be the
list?
first two people.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Me first.
Okay,
She's the second first.
I don't mind.
um,
I mean, we need to see that how it interacts and how it fits into the whole game itself, and whether we have any game mechanic that will kind of interact with this friend list, thing. The thing is that while it might be a really good thing, it might also bring some negative aspects as
I can see
well.
the negative for sure. I can see what that
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
be.
because people can DM you, for
can be very
example.
toxic.
They can be very
sometimes.
toxic. There can be
True.
like threats or anything of that kind. So it needs to be kind of moderated, maybe, or anything. So
And
it's
I do
really
think
like
the communication
complicated.
part of the game also needs to be looked at as far as blocking other members. And I mean, obviously, I'm a moderator, so I know what it's like to be the in-game chat person. And it would be really nice if people could block other people, because there's always different kinds of arguments and more for the safety of players. Because everyone, depending on how they feel nowadays, they should have the option to make that choice of who they want to read messages from and who they don't want to read messages from. Also, of course, the system always gets better with how they can ban the bots selling on websites. So that's good. So I know these things would play into account for a friends list, but this was kind of me throwing a fishing hook when I asked this question, saying maybe I can invite friends to do other aspects of the game with me down the line. I think these would be really cool things. Maybe I can start dueling a friend. If I want to duel Cirilla with one champion and beat it with my one champion, beat her whole team, I want to be able to do that. I think that would be really cool.
For me,
She has like 3 torments, right?
you stand no chance.
She has 3 torments, so
I have an admin account. I can just add any resources I want. It's not chance.
Okay.
you will be fired
Yeah,
if
but
you do.
dual fights and like blind fights and things like that, there are a lot of options to look at.
Yeah.
And that's why we want first to concentrate on the content, like features and stuff. And then we will add like more stuff for interaction and communication with your bodies and enemies and loved ones,
Raid
unloved
buddies.
ones.
Okay, that sounds
So you
fair.
can ban anyone you want.
But
From your
I
friend
really
list.
like the thing about blocking users and reporting users, because we do have moderators, but there are not enough of them.
There's
in the
not. I
chats
can tell you that for
to
sure.
keep conversations at all times, and we know that there are children and they look at it all the time. But this is one of the suggestions that we have already put forward for our game designers.
But I want to kick in to say that you need to be really thoughtful about all those banning things as well, because there might be like toxic people who just want to ban that particular person who didn't do anything. And I mean, that's not a good
Yeah,
situation as
obviously,
well. So
it has a lot of
Yeah, it's going to be in depth.
a lot
I
of
mean,
aspects. Yeah.
Raid isn't going to be like the pioneer in this technology. Lots of other games have it, so we know it's possible. There are definitely
obviously,
ways to do that. So it was just kind of me trying to figure out if we were going in that direction. So it looks like maybe for like the phase 2 part with PvP, that's when you guys would start looking into friends lists and other options like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, perfect. So next question, the Tavern. The beautiful tavern that's been here since day one. It's looked the same since day one. Do we have any plans of getting an update to the system, making things more efficient? The game, I mean, I recently did a video of what my account looked like in pictures when I first started. To today, we had the Yule tree, we had the lovely campfire that we miss so much. I mean, we love the forge, don't get me wrong. But can we expect any new updated version of the Tavern?
Well, Tavern needs a makeover. That's
Can I
it. Like
just
that's
say
the
that we
statement.
have beautiful plans
Oh
regarding
yeah.
the tavern, and I'm saying it as a person who has already seen the mock-ups.
Oh,
We
have you seen the
Yes,
mock-ups? I didn't see the mock-ups.
things actually look wonderful there. We just need to make sure that all those plans fit the pipeline, and we are pretty tight in that aspect. So we already have the implementations of really good ideas that we have been collecting from players and pitching ourselves. So, yes, this is definitely on the table. It's just we will need to wait a little bit more for it to actually come
And
into
we
the
will
game.
update the Tavern. Yes.
That's
Yes.
very good news.
One of the things like it will be easier to feed potions to champions, to rank them up, to level them up, to use the
Ascend?
scroll.
No?
No, I don't think there's anything with the ascension, but
Yeah.
like leveling up champions will become easier. There are a lot of stuff that you guys are going to like.
So
Perfect.
we're on it. Like we're on it.
That's good. So now I have a very scary question for you guys, and I'm really hoping for a very specific answer. A long time ago, I had a conversation with, I believe, one of the old CMs, and they said there would never be 7-star gear and 7-star champions in this game. Can we say, as of right now, that is still true?
Let's never say never. I
I mean, I was
mean,
just told never, and I was very happy about the 7-star thing because it takes a lot of
I'm the
work.
oldest here. Who was it?
Listen,
yeah, who was it?
I'm not
Like,
going to tell
you need
anybody.
to reveal the
Their
name.
secret is safe with me. I'm just saying, 7-star gear and champions were said to be nowhere in the future plans. Is that still the case now? Has the game evolved and things have changed a bit? I mean, I understand everything changes. That's why I'm asking, because I know never
I,
doesn't really mean never.
yeah, but I mean, like, implementing it right now, it will be like super stressful for all the
It will be a
players.
humongous stress on
Yeah, I mean,
players.
like, it's really bad idea. So, I think that we'll find different kinds of empowering. Is it the correct word to say?
Yeah, for ways
Like,
to empower
yeah,
more
champions.
champions.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
we'll
I'm
find
by
different
no
ways to do
means,
that. But
I'm definitely not saying we need to be stronger. Let me just
No
clarify.
to 7 stars. No.
No to 7 stars,
yeah, but
okay. Yeah, I'm not
let's
saying we
never
need to be
say never.
stronger.
Never.
I'm just saying it because when I look at 7-star gear and 7-star champions, I think of more work. And I don't want to do more
Yeah,
work. I
for
want to play the
sure.
game and have fun, you know?
Remember the children lectures. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So moving on to the
So
next part of this discussion here. Rebalances, you said they are coming down the line. However, what I would personally like to see, what a lot of players would love to see, is some type of schedule for rebalances. I know, like I said, there is one coming up, but it's just not happening as often as we would like. If we could plan for something, whether it's every 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, just to give the player something to say, okay, you haven't forgot about these champions, because this game's getting new players all of the time. We all know that. So if someone starts just after rebalance and they end up playing for 2 months and they say, wow, I just got this legendary, it's really not that good. Plarium may know it's not good. All of the old players know it's not good, but we really need a sign saying, okay, there's a rebalance coming up in 3 weeks, kind of like we can expect 2 times events. I think it would be really nice to have a schedule. So, what are the feedback and thoughts on that?
uh, we're definitely moving into that direction with making rebalances more frequent. But as we were saying before, right now we are working on some really like huge features that require a lot of efforts, a lot of resources, and that's what we kind of try to squeeze in like all the rebalances as well. So I think it's too early to talk about some sort of a schedule.
Schedule, yes.
Yeah, but we are definitely trying to make it a more frequent event in the
Okay,
future.
I'll
So there
settle.
is a list of champions that we keep Well, hopefully we won't be adding a lot more there. But some really painful ones like Pixnail and what else there? Growhack, I think.
I have two. I have two
Yeah.
Grohawks.
They are on the list and they are waiting patiently for their turn to get good, but we can't adhere to a certain schedule right now.
Okay, that's fair. As long as it's known about and you guys understand that there are champions that
Sure.
shouldn't
We'll
feel.
make sure that
Yeah.
it doesn't get forgotten.
I recently had a video and got a lot of feedback on it should always feel good to get a legendary and the dupe system that's being worked
Yes.
on, but some champions just don't feel good when you get them. You get them and you want to cry a little bit. You need to go for a walk. It's just not a good time. So I think those champions really need
But
love.
we also don't want to get heart attacks from being
Yeah,
too
like
happy.
from being overexcited and then like and that's it. I mean,
Okay, that was a good
not
way
a
to
good way
avoid
to
the whole
celebrate a new
situation there.
legendary.
That was a great way to avoid that whole disaster.
We're
Okay,
just care of our players' health. Yeah, yeah.
true. So the last question I have for you two today is going to be, now that we can have preset teams, is there going to be any way for I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, so I'm going to try to word it a little bit better than I initially wrote it. When you use a team in a dungeon and you complete that dungeon first or you fail it, defeat, it doesn't really matter. It's always saved there on that screen. With the ever increasing amount of content, we only have a certain amount of preset slots. And a lot of people need more as more content is going to be added. So is there going to be a way to save the AI for a battle and not have to use it as a preset team so we can free up some of our slots? Or just any other improvements to presets overall?
Just for you, just today. Yes.
That's like super exclusive.
That's what I'm going to get?
Sold.
Yes. The answer, yes.
And that's it. And that's I mean, like that's the best answer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, I mean, the same thing with presets for teams. What about presets for gear? Is there going to be anything new when, like for the filtering and sorting system? It's pretty good when that came out, but there are definitely better ways and more in-depth ways to approach that.
Yeah, of course. And we are thinking about it. We're thinking about how to make it more, let's say, user friendly. More how do you say more
It's just
not comfortable,
convenient and
more convenient. No,
I'm not giving you any clues. I'm not giving you any clues. It's the word.
It's just very good additions that would be great when implemented in the game, and we are collecting all of those, but we still have to like line them up in turn of bringing them into life. So we're not saying no to this one. We will add it to our suitcase of all other um, wishes, yes, and requests. But we just acknowledge that it's a good one. But we will still have to make sure that it fits like the whole pipeline of releasing new features in the nearest future. You can just cut it out because I said a number of random words.
You're almost dying.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the end of the day right now, so we've had
What
like,
I'm trying to say is that it's a good one. We will add it to our list, and whenever we get the chance to start taking on all those new cool ideas that have been passed on to us, we will take it and make it work.
Perfect. Now, I've gone through every question that I wanted to ask. Is there anything you guys want to say that's not in the questions after this point?
Yeah, what I always ask for is some constructive feedback. And at times we see a lot of frustration a lot of desperation even. But I just want to send a message out that we always listen to you guys. We always see what's going on in the community, and it is always in our best interest to react to what is happening in the way that benefits both our players, the game, and us as the company. So we're always thankful for everything you guys say to us. It's just that what I always ask for is not to ever lose hope and just be rational about
Dear Lord, you're like
expressing.
the Braveheart. You know, the Mel Gibson, is it the Braveheart? How did the movie called?
That was a speech.
Yes.
I'm just saying. You got me. You got me. I'm all in.
Yeah,
That's for you. That's all I have.
Thanks to my parents, to my friends,
To my cat, who supported me throughout
Yes.
this
It's
adventure.
basically it. Well, yeah, we are working actively on developing the game, and it's our child, it's our product. We want to make it good. So it's in our best interest to do that and do it as efficiently as we can.
Perfect. I want to thank both of you,
I'm
Cirilla
going
and
to cry right
BananaJam, for inviting me, for having this interview. I'm sure players are going to love to hear what you guys just had to say. So thank you again.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you so much
Murder.
here. Thank you. It was really nice talking about all those questions.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.